Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Benny, a true and welcome back to Stellaris MegaCorp, where last time, oh yes, we managed to take over an entire flipping fallen empire, and then immediately handed it straight back to the people we conquered, with the exception of one bit that due to the new sector system just kind of fell into its own sector. But it's fine, I set it up correctly, everything's going to be just flipping fine. And today I think our priority needs to be starting to get prepared for the end of the universe, or at least, the potential end of the universe. The endgame crisis could start showing up in 15 years, and that means we need to be ready for it, and that means we're gonna need a lot more ships. So today, we're gonna be trying to see what we can do to boost our fleet capacity and fill it up with some lovely, sexy new ships. Except we start off with a bit of a problem, which is, at the very end of last time, I was trying to build myself a megastructure in the form of the brand new Strategic Coordination Center site, which is marvellous. Except there was one small problem, which is the game refuses to let me build it right here. And I'm not sure whether this is a bug, by the way. I cannot actually, for the life of me, figure out whether there's, just a criteria the game doesn't tell you about. But something's gone a bit flipping weird here, and I'm not sure if it's a bug, because it kind of feels like it should be. So the Science Nexus site, for example, that's absolutely fine. That will basically happily settle around literally flipping anything. And the Century Array site, that will gladly go next to any star I own whatso-flipping-ever. It just doesn't want to be an Osprey, presumably, because that's a black hole, not a flipping star. But some of the others are very, very fussy indeed. So I've moved my construction ship down here to Hokride, just immediately to the south of Osprey. So what we've got here is, a star. Flipping beautiful. No planets are of any description, so you'd think I ought to be allowed to build, a Dyson sphere. That lovely, lovely thing that would give me a ton of energy by wrapping it around a star. But nope. And off screen, I just sent my construction ship around, huge parts of Empire. I couldn't find a single star the game was happy for me to build a Dyson sphere around. And I was thinking, could it be a particular type of star that's acceptable? But if it is, the game doesn't flipping tell you so, not quite flipping sure there. And as for strategic coordination, that one was even more flipping fussy. I have found one, and precisely one system in my entire empire I'm allowed to build one of these. And it is over here in Canadrius, in the middle of flipping nowhere. For some reason, this one system, the game is happy for me to actually build the Strategic Coordination Center. You see? Right there. Every other system in the entire empire, like Usladon right here, the game's like, nope, unflipping acceptable. So I tried to figure out what it was that was special about Canadrius. So this is, a Class B star. So I thought, okay, maybe it's a Class B star in a system where there are no habitable planets. So I went around and checked and found Himpra up north here. This is a Class B star with no habitable planets, and you're not allowed to build it there. So I have literally no idea what the hell's going on there, but I guess we're building our Strategic Coordination Center in Canadrius, because I've got literally no flipping choice. And while the construction ship makes its way over there, there's one more thing we can actually do as well, which is it's time to reform our government for 250 influence, which is currently a cap, because we're making plus 5.27 at the moment, which is very, very healthy indeed. So I can't get rid of criminal heritage, simply can't get rid of that one. And free traders is great, I'm making bank off my trade, so I definitely don't want to get rid of that. Brand loyalty, however, is monthly unity plus 15%, which is nice to have, but there's something I'd much rather have at this point in the game. Because your priorities shift over time, so always be aware you can reform your government and change your civics at any point, and it's well worth doing, because at different points in the game, you're going to be wanting different things. Here we go. Trading posts. Starbase capacity plus 4. So I'm going to take that, reform my government, and increase my cap up to 20. So that is 5 extra star bases right there. And remember, we've discussed this before. Every single star base, if fully upgraded, can have 6 slots available, where each slot can have an anchorage. Anchorage is 4 plus 2 with naval logistics, so that is 36 per star base. 36 times 5, 180 right there. Very, very nice indeed. In fact, that's actually going to be worth more fleet capacity than a fully upgraded strategic command center is, because the strategic coordination center thingy is, I think when it's fully upgraded, plus 150, but also gives you even more star bases, so even more anchorages, and gives you fleet movement, which is completely invaluable. That's pretty much why I'm building it. And as I've suddenly got all these star bases to upgrade, I'm going to upgrade all the ones along my main trade spine around here, just to slightly lower the risk of piracy, and if pirates do show up, yeah, potentially a fully upgraded Citadel, Star Fortress or whatever might be able to protect itself. So we're going to start upgrading all of these lovely guys along here. So that gets upgraded, and a Vastum over here, that actually gets upgraded. This actually used to be upgraded once upon a time, if you recall, back when we were, yeah, setting up a barricade against the Ganvius, but, oh, so flipping long ago. And, of course, Canadrius itself, because why flipping not? Usladon is already upgraded right there. Fact can be upgraded too. Marvelous. So that is, how many have I done so far? That's 4. So I need 1 more. So it may as well be, yeah, here we go. This is just perfect. So Feanus right here, because Devon is also producing like 800 trade. So we may as well just basically have our entire flipping... Oh, actually... Oh, this is a different class of one, because this wasn't originally mine. I took it off the Quiramulan. So yeah, when you actually do that and you upgrade, it stays on the original style, which is very, very cool indeed. So, all of those guys are now being upgraded, and once that's done, we'll jump up to 20, and we can just start upgrading. We're making plenty of flipping minerals right now, so that's absolutely fine as well. Though we should actually start spending these down and get my starports doing something. So, I've got some spare capacity, and I've got a plan. Though actually, before I get into building the fleet, there's one small issue that the comments pointed out I do need to fix. So when I created the really cunning Romans, I may possibly, just possibly, have actually moved them off being Tomb World preference back to Continental preference, their original preference, which was a bit of a mistake because they're living on a tomb world, so the habitability is very, very poor right now, and yeah, their amenity usage and food upkeep is extremely flipping high. So, luckily, I can actually fix that, because I still have the template for the cunning Romans who had the Tomb World preference, which is a great, great relief indeed. So, we're going to modify that, because there's actually, yeah, 5 spare points for that, and then just apply that to the entire species. Everyone shall become the new cunning Romans. And to avoid confusion, these are going to be the Apocalypse Romans. Spot on. And yeah, the nice thing about these guys is they actually already have natural physicists because of the blessing of the worm. So take off intelligent and give them... Hang on, not enough. I need to actually remove repugnant just to actually free up a spot. So obviously we want them to have erudite again. So now there's 1 trait point left, but no actual pick. So I could take something off if I wanted to. So okay, right now they are rapid breeders, natural physicists, nomadic, enduring. Probably take off rapid breeders. I don't actually need to prioritize growth rate right now. Okay, so they've already got the physicist thing. They've already got erudite. What's the most important other thing to give them? Though actually, I could just take off... I mean, enduring's not really that useful. Yeah, then I've actually got 4 points and 2 picks. That's probably better, because nomadic is... Actually, nomadic might be useful. I may as well give them thrifty, purely because there are going to be lots of Romans working as clerks dotted around the Empire, so they may as well have it, quite frankly. And other than that... Probably best to give them the housing business, which is that, yeah, communal. Even though that leaves them with 1 point left over, that's probably for the best. So, Apocalypse Romans now exist, so simply now apply that template to the entire flipping species. All cunning Romans, all really cunning Romans, literally everyone. And that can be done in just 4 flipping months. Spot on. Oh, I'm really loving Biological Ascension. I hadn't done this before, but... it's very, very good. It might actually be my new favourite, in fact. So, back to the fleet. The thing is, right now my fleets are overwhelmingly set up to deal with fallen empires or any other form of threat that has very limited hull points but huge amounts of armour or shielding that I can bypass. I'd like to start hedging my bets a little bit here by having just, you know, a handful of fleets who are set up to do precisely the flipping opposite, moving back onto a plasma footing. So I'm just going to create the variant of the Ascension Corvette, the Plasma Ascension, that basically just, you know, fires a whole bunch of plasma. And I've created one new variant as well, the Stormfire Corvette, which is, yeah, as you'd probably expect from the name, armed purely with Stormfire autocannons. The idea being, this ship basically is designed to just get in there and annihilate shields. So in the event we're coming up against something that's heavy on the shields, but we still want the plasma fleet to be able to do the big damage to take it out, this thing goes in first to knock out the shields. It'll probably be destroyed at the same time, but it could serve a very useful purpose. And it's gonna cost pretty much all of the alloys we've got, but that's fine. We got plenty of them, it's no problem whatsoever. 210 of the new Plasma Ascension class Corvettes. And I'd say, yep, click that reinforce all button. We just spent a lot of flipping money. And all of my star bases just jump into life creating that. Spot on. In fact, you know what? We need to actually make some changes to the market as well. Because right now I'm literally at full capacity for the energy. So that probably means, yeah, why am I actually selling that many of these guys? So right now I'm making, yeah, huge amounts. No. Let's just actually whack that straight down. Spot on. But I do actually need some more. What's the current price of food? Oh, food is dirt cheap. Dirt flipping cheap. Right, buy a bit more of that in that case, just to, you know, stabilize us a little bit. Right, couple of changes made there. I'm buying some more stuff than I used to, and I'm selling less than I used to. So as we tick over into the new month, there we go. Very, very nice indeed. So we're still making plus 900, and we're still at capacity. Right, so we probably need to sell even flipping less and buy even flipping more. In fact, in particular, how much are we actually making there? Yeah, we're making up to 880. I should probably just, yeah, cancel it. Cancel it in that case. We're making a profit regardless. So, new year. What's that going to do to the economy at this point? Up to 550. And we're making only the very slightest of losses. I tell you what, plus 500 alloys a turn. I'll flippin' take it when I've got my eyes on more fleets. And Shazarak going for the Yonderim once a flipping again. No problem there whatsoever. Shazarak surprisingly strong, by the way. They've got themselves, yeah, there's a fleet of 40,000. There's another of about 20,000. There's another of 10,000. They're not doing bad at all. The Shazarak are probably the second most powerful empire that's not a fallen empire in the galaxy after me, which is very, very nice indeed. And yes, I do have a non-aggression pact with these guys, spot on. I want friendly relations with them. And I think the Romans have been. Yes, we fixed the Romans. Yay! In fact, next month, that should actually have an immediate impact on consumer goods and food. Because there's a lot of Romans who should now need a lot less upkeep. Because now they should be happy on their apocalypse worlds. There we go. Food's jumped into the positive, and consumer goods is a little less in the negative. So, yeah, pretty good result there. The economy's fine, by the way. It's just having a bit of a wibble because the bloody Ganvius just cannot keep their own bloody borders under control, and there is all of my new little bases right here. Right. You lads. So, Anchorage, and start upgrading straight afterwards. We can afford to do... Oh, yeah, we can definitely afford that. That's 37, that's 37, that's 260. Nice and easy. And my construction ship has made it to Canadria. Spot on. So, you, my good man, yes, strategic coordination... Why are you not willing to... Do I need to demolish this? Is it because this is here? Is that why you're having a hissy fit? No, I just dropped a save and tried demolishing this to see if that allowed this thing to be actually built here, but no! No, it's not, unless, of course, now I've reloaded the game, maybe it just will, because... No, it won't. But, I have found a new site. Fact is apparently fine. That's a Class F star. Apparently it's fine to be built there. So, I've slapped that down there, so hopefully, this will actually take on this occasion. Fact is an absolutely fine spot for it. That's, yeah, midway between the Beast and Foundation. That's a pretty safe spot. And at this point, we're into, yeah, a whole bunch of repeatable text, which is just beautiful, getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And gateway construction. Now that could be very, very useful indeed, because I control L space. And the little L gate here at Terminal Egress is now linked to every L gate in the entire galaxy. So, in theory, if I was to actually build a gateway in Ospra over to Terminal Egress, then from Terminal Egress I would have a free jumping off point to any L gate flipping going. which is just absolutely flipping marvellous, because, yeah, there's there's one around here, there's one up there, there's a bunch down here. Very, very useful indeed. Only bit of the galaxy that isn't really covered by the L-Gate network at all is up here, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's fine. I could just, like, you know, build a gateway somewhere. Yeah, I'll probably just build a gateway by the Rontus blockade, just so I can move to that side of my empire very, very quickly indeed. Though actually I don't really need to, because, yeah, Rixakar's Maw over here in Rontus space actually has one. So we've kind of got some coverage right there. Oh my goodness, the construction ship has finally found a way to actually put down the base for the Strategic Coordination Center. Oh, marvellous. That'll take them a while to build, by the way. These things take a long time to construct. Okay, all of my new stations are now up to, yeah, the proper starbase level. So what I'm going to do with these guys is, I'm going to give all of them a couple of hangar bays. Though actually, maybe not a couple. Phaeonus, I think, could probably do with a couple of hangar bays. Because, yeah, there's some good trade coming off Devon. Let's just actually get that nice and upgraded, passing on some benefits. Right there. You can have yourself a couple of hangar bays. Don't forget naval logistics, and then an upgrade for you. For fact, hang on, let's just actually check what the state of piracy is up here. Fact seems to be fine. There's a couple of problems actually around here, because, yeah, patrol misses them. So I've actually trained a second patrol fleet just to patrol this area, just to keep all of that safe. Canadrius remains a very major concern. So Canadrius probably needs... yeah, that could probably do with a couple of hangar bays right there, just to keep that nice and safe, which is flipping lovely. So that's all fine. And yeah, once again, give you the naval logistics, upgrade you, spot on. Alloys are just flying in right now, no problem there. Fact is, yeah, looking absolutely fine, to be honest. Apparently there's more than sufficient trade protection, which is weird, given the beast is so flipping valuable, but... okay, fine. In which case, we'll just give you guys double anchorage. Marvellous. Avastum has a very small amount of an issue going on there, so one hangar bay, one anchorage should do the job there. And the same in Hokrai, because with one actual hangar bay each, I think they should be mutually supporting each other. We're also currently losing 200 points of trade value, because the bloody Cornish can't keep their own borders secure, so... alright, deploy rapid response, we'll go and take care of it. And yeah, the big problem is actually in Canadrius right now, which is currently losing a huge amount of trade value from the beast. Yeah, like 200 odd trade value from the beast is actually being snapped off right there, which is probably why Efrov's not causing such a problem anymore, because less is literally passing through it. Okay, well we are reinforcing Canadrius right now. Oh, and there's gateway construction as well. Flipping spot on. Meanwhile, what else do we need here? No, not jump drives. We definitely don't want jump drives. Anything but that, in fact. Do I actually want a planetary shield generator? In an emergency, maybe it would be useful. Let's just have it just in case. And I can't remember if I ever actually double-checked this, but yes, it would actually appear that my plan actually worked. I built a listening outpost over here at Terminal Egress, and... I now very clearly do have visibility up to 3 systems away over here. So yeah, over if I kind of go over to the Rayub, I can see what's going on 3 systems away in this system. But 4 systems away, I think at that point I don't know. Yeah, I don't have proper visibility. Yeah, I definitely can't see what's going on over here. So yeah, this is actually very, very good news indeed. I can now actually spy through every L-gate in the galaxy, which admittedly doesn't give me a huge amount of extra visibility, but it does give me, yeah, just a handful of extra pairs of eyes dotted around that side of space. Except weirdly, it doesn't seem to be working over here with this L-gate. Hang on, is it working or not? I'm not sure if that's actually working or not, because I do seem to have good visibility for what's going on in this part of the world. Is that just because I, like, traded active sensor link with one of the empires around here? It might just be that, because I don't seem to have an actual view through the Roman one. Oh, look at that. First plasma ready to go. 81,000 strength right there. Oh, I tell you what, though. This current little fight between, yeah, the Roman Federation and the Yonderim Federation could work out very, very nicely indeed for Rome if it ends with a settled status quo. Rome appears to have actually, yeah, occupied a whole big-ass pile of systems. And if we look at diplomatic map mode, they have got a large number of claims down in this part of the world. So, if they occupy the system, and there's a status quo, they get to keep all of that stuff. So, yeah, they might actually get some of their territory that they lost to the Yonderim many years ago back, which is kind of cool. Ah, that's why the Yonderim are losing so badly right now. They're stuck in 3 wars at once. There's just a bit of a, pylon going on right here. So, yeah, the big Roman League is having a war against them right now. And also, the Rayab Federation, together with Earth, is attacking them. And the Shazarak just kind of dived in just to put the boot in slightly. Ah, something to keep in mind, however. Right now, my fleet size is entirely dependent on the Grand Fleet always being on. Constantly. So that just needs to be kept on under all circumstances. Luckily, I'm currently floating, 710,000 unity and gaining it very, very quickly indeed. So Grand Fleet, that is actually remarkably cheap. Yeah, no problem there whatsoever. We could probably afford to have more, to be honest. Yeah, the reason that's minus 500 is because of the actual upkeep for the fleet. Because I was temporarily over capacity. That should sort itself out at this point. What else do we need to do here? Because, I can totally afford to have... screw it. I can afford Scientific Revolution, get that on as well. And my new reinforced trade routes with more hangar bays and more defense fleets, that seems to be doing the job very, very nicely indeed. A lot more of the beasts trade is actually getting through, which is excellent, excellent news indeed. Right now I'm just making sure Canadrius goes down to nothing by leaving the small second fleet there for the time being, just to drain this place back down to 0, which is flipping spot on. Then I'll actually send those guys over to Phaeonus to do the same over there. Here we go, trade value just nicely ticking up as I make sure that we clear out any systems that have still got any significant threat of piracy whatsoever. Nothing we can really do about Efrov, unfortunately, because I'm pretty sure my fleets don't count towards that, so there will be piracy there. We're just going to have to leave that up to the Ganvius. Yeah, having made Canadrius safe, unfortunately, we just boot the problem slightly down the road to Efrov, which we have no control over it. Oh, hello! What do you guys want? Just a second, please. You want me to colonize Epsilon Eridani 3 in order to not die? Very well, I will do that. Hang on, what even is Epsilon Eridani 3? That's close by, isn't it? I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of a trash planet. But then again, these are insane robots who are full of, corruption and whatever. So... I see no reason why not. We'll get it set up as an absolute basic little starting planet, and then we'll just turn it into its own independent vassal. It's fine. Ah, except I physically can't because it's within a Sprania. Right, dear oh flipping dear. You know what? Let's just deploy some Venus flytraps in that direction. They like hot worlds. Go on, why not? In fact, I've got a bit of a plan here. This might actually work out nicely. You see, the problem with Eden Odia down here is, the trade regularly gets cut off because there's a decent volume of trade, but it's repeatedly cut off by the fact it goes through Cornwall space, which is not very convenient. So what if I turned Eden Odia into an independent subsidiary and instead made Epsilon Eridani our brand new little resort world? Yeah, that could work. They said we had to colonize it. They didn't say anything about what sort of planet it was supposed to be. The problem with Eden turned out to be not so great, though, is... as a resort world, it doesn't really produce anything. So, can I actually de-resort world it? Is that actually... I'm allowed to abolish the planetary resort. Okay, so... if I were to do that, then I could actually start building some actual proper stuff, though this might cause problems with... You know what? It's fine. Everything's under control. There's probably going to be a crisis of amenities elsewhere in the Empire, but it's not a problem. So, the things you guys actually need to survive is going to be, food and also energy and also consumer goods. And, a lot of flipping rare crystals, because... you're using a lot of... you guys are really eating a lot of rare crystals. Right, screw that. You don't actually need that anymore. Replace those with, actual flipping jobs. Now, has this caused an amenities crash anywhere else in the Empire? Doesn't seem to have done so, to be honest, but it might not update until next month. Hang on, 56 right now. Still 56. Okay. Doesn't seem to have caused a crash. Amenities just seem to be extremely numerous. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this entire side of the Empire just basically ready to hand over to these guys. And then, actually, yeah, Dirmius. Cornwall, would you just like Dirmius? Because you can just sort of have it if you want. Yeah, I can actually hand them Dirmius, and in return, I may as well have some stuff off them, sure. Actually, would you be willing to swap for Valus? Because I wouldn't mind having Valus back. No, they definitely don't want to give away Valus. Yeah, they're willing to pay 179 alloys for Dirmius. Done. Deal. Spot on. Okay, so, those guys in a moment will accept that, and they will take Dirmius into their territory. There we go, and also I think that was, yep, armor hit points up. Dirmius gets handed over, and that means this entire side of the Empire has now basically been sold off. Spot on. Armor hit points and, ooh, minerals up. Okay, tempting, tempting. Go on then. At this point, I'm getting dangerously close to sort of accidentally playing tall. I've just basically, yeah, I've given away this part of the Empire. I'm about to give away this part of the Empire as well. My core Empire is actually shrinking, but I'm not getting any poorer just because, yeah, the tax revenue that's coming in and the huge efficiencies I'm getting through technology. This is cool. I'm enjoying this playing tall business. Now I just need to find a way to give away, yeah, the top of my Empire. Tragically, I actually can't because there's, yeah, no actual planets up there. That's a shame. Oh, Strategic Coordination Center site is done. Oh, yeah. Oh, here we flipping go. We can now actually get the mega structure being constructed. Oh, love it. Flipping love it. Right, over to fact over here. There it is. It's a big, shiny, reflective platform. Reflecting the, I don't know, the top of space or something. It's slightly unclear. So, time for an upgrade. 15 flipping thousand alloys. Chicken feed. You shall have your 15,000 alloys, which allows you to build 2 little flaps on the site. Whatever, it's fine. Carry on. And at this point, actually, yeah, my admin cap is up to 170, so my technology cost is only at plus 65%, which is not that bad at all things considered. So if I just keep going for repeating techs for admin capacity up, yeah, we're actually in flipping good shape here. Okay, the thing to consider about Eden turned out to be not great is even when I actually set them free, even if they don't have enough energy right now, what's going to happen straight after that point is they will actually control their own trade value. They won't be sending it over to me. That will just become their own. So, hang on, that's actually, yeah, 15 plus 71 from pop jobs, just because right now they have, yeah, it's just a huge number of, well, it's 10 clerks anyway. It's not bad, and a very big number of unemployed. That's fine. I'm getting you all jobs as quickly as I flipping can, alright? You can produce your own consumer goods. You can produce your own food. It's going to be flipping marvellous. Energy should be okay. But I will give them some mines as well. Food's the big one, though, because population is... Why is it minus 75 when the population's only 60? Have some of you moved to this planet when you're woefully inappropriate for it? Yeah, there's definitely a couple of habitability 40% people here, so... you guys should not have come here. And when I say you shouldn't have come here, I probably forcibly resettled you here. So if so, I'm very sorry. In fact, we've got all these jobs going in Somerset. Yeah, this will be an easy solution. Right, everyone off Eden turned out to be not so great. Over to Somerset. There we go. Flipping better. And an upgrade for that building too. Now, some of you are also woefully inappropriate for this area, which is unfortunate, but... yeah, it probably just helps get Eden sorted out. Yeah, that's now at minus 64. Though, possibly that'll update at the end of the month. That still seems high for a population of, well, I guess a population of only 50. I've got nowhere else to flip and ship them is the thing. Unless, of course, I ship them. Ooh, I can just ship actually all of you over to the New World. Yes, the robots told us to. That's what I've called it, by the way. The New World is the robots told us to. Ah, yes, and I've deployed Rapid Response Murder over to the very far side of the Empire for one particular reason, which is, over here, next to all the flipping black holes in the world, we've actually got void clouds, who we haven't really run into so far, which is unfortunate because, as people were pointing out, the reason that the, whatever it is, the lasers that bypass shields and armor don't have a large variant is because it's a special unique tech attached to these guys. So I need to actually defeat these guys and then send in the science vessels. And because these guys are set up to bypass shields, declare war on these guys, please. We should basically melt these guys because these guys are mostly shield. So if we just basically attack them, look at that. They just flipping melt. No problem whatsoever. Then just head over here, mop all of these guys up, and then send in the science vessels. Because, yeah, they've got this special Void Cloud Lightning ability that is a large weapon thingy that also bypasses shields and armor. So that is precisely what I flippin' want. Just basically deploy these guys over here. Their lightning will actually knock out a couple of Corvettes, which is fine. And then we just go in here, finish off the last of them, job flippin' done. But yeah, this place is just full of little subspace ruptures and great wounds and diddly diddly dees. So you get over here and just, yeah, do the research projects, and then when you're done, just survey the system. Thank you. And here we go. The new archivists have actually started building their first fleets here. So they've got themselves, yeah, one fleet of 8,000, one fleet of 10,000. So already up to about 20,000 strength. So good. For once, I've actually created a not failed state. Bonus points for me. And of course, because they were once a fallen empire and they've got lots of science and whatever, yeah, they do actually get access to some advanced technologies. Though, interestingly, they're not using jump drives and they're not using the 0. They probably would be using the black hole 0-point reactors. No, that's the 0-point reactor. The black hole one, anyway. But they physically can't because they don't have access to the material to actually build it, because that's what you need dark matter for. Okay, that's cute. That makes a lot of sense. And speaking of which, there we go. Cloud Lightning. So, a large weapon class that actually lets you bypass shields and armor. Spot on. And here's fun. So the price of consumer goods, which I crashed about a decade ago, has finally recovered to the point where, yeah, it's actually over 3. So I'm going to boost my price up to 5, but I also need to start working on producing some of my own. Because I don't really want to be buying 400 consumer goods constantly. That's not very good at all. So who's got some open slots for that? Here we go, Somerset. Aside from just being a mining world, how would you guys feel about also being, yeah, mass production of civilian stuff? That'd be spot on. And speak of the devil, there's that Cloud Lightning. So, range of only 60. So for a large weapon, that's pretty short range. Damage is pretty low, to be honest. But screw it, let's just get it done anyway. It'll be done super quickly. Then we can just get back into repeatable text for boosting general firepower. Oh, check out the flipping Shazarak just showing off their current power. I mean, this is miles from their territory. They've just flipping nipped down here and destroyed flipping everything. In fact, how did they even... Were you guys using the L-gates? Right, it's possible everyone in the galaxy is actually using my L-gate as a little shortcut to get between systems. That's entirely possible. Right, just in case that's what's happening, I should probably have this place a little bit more locked down just for safety, because right now this place is collecting, like, yeah, there's 2 trade there, there's 2 trade there. Maybe we don't worry about that trade. Maybe we actually respec this place a little bit to be a little bit more on the hard to crack side. Yeah, because it's very important that we are able to continue holding this spot. Yeah, go on then, sure. Yeah, you see, this is where the techs start getting into a bit of madness, which is I can spend 98,000 society research to get naval capacity up by 20, or I can spend just over that getting an additional starbase, which, if fully upgraded, is plus 36. So, yeah, that's every flipping time. So, my space is now a beautiful, efficient, pirate-free utopia. The problem is, 2/3 of all the trade from the beast is being eaten in Efroth, which is very, very annoying indeed. I'm starting to worry that I might actually need to free these guys in order to declare war on them, to claim those systems purely so that I can flipping fortify them. And also, the archives are becoming... I honestly thought you guys were already pretty materialist, given you were a materialist fallen empire, but whatever. Is that what we actually need to do? Do I actually need to set the flipping Ganvius free in order to declare war on them, having laid some claims down? But it will be very dangerous, because if I were to set them free, then there's a very real risk that what happens immediately after that point is they decide to sign up with someone else. if they decide to actually join any other federation in the meanwhile, then in order to get them back in my family, I'd have to go to war against an entire federation, which would be very slow and boring. So I don't really want that to happen. So we might just have to make do, unless you guys might just be willing to sell me Efrov. Okay, they will not trade away any flipping planets. What if I was to give you something in return? What could I give them in return? I will give you all of the flipping alloys in the world, alright? There will be no shortage to the amount of alloys. What if I gave you thousands of flipping alloys? Do you know how much this is worth? Because it's a flipping lot. They are not interested, no. Also, apparently me giving them 7,000 alloys would only be +1, which is a little bit on the ungrateful side. Okay, so this is interesting. Looking at the exact tooltip here, my fleets directly occupying Ganvia's space would supposedly have an impact on piracy suppression. So the easier way to handle this rather than a war would simply be to build up my fleet so it's big enough to have an impact, and unfortunately right now my fleet is, trade value is greater than piracy suppression, which is, hang on, trade value total is, that's very, very large indeed. Yeah, so max piracy 382. Okay. If I were to just say, actually, second patrol murder, your only job is to go backwards and forwards between these two systems, and you're going to need to be bigger to make this happen. Hang on a flipping minute here. You just go backwards and forwards. But open up the fleet manager here. You're going to need to be, significantly stronger to make sure that no pirates get involved here. Because, Phaeonus now appears to be well enough defended that Devon is doing okay. Now, there are some problems around here in, Hirma, unfortunately. But it's a relatively small issue, really. I can reinforce that down the line. I'm about to get one extra star base, so the next star base needs to be in Hirma. We've got so much flipping trade right now, we just need to flipping defend it. Everything should be dedicated to trying to defend it. Also, time for a new flipping fleet here. The Plasma Bloodbath and the Majestic Havoc Titan. Yeah, it's time for Last Plasma. So, reinforcements are already flying in here. Let's get this fleet up to strength. Efrov needs to be secured. If the Ganvius won't do it themselves, I will simply permanently occupy their space to make sure it is protected. Here we go. Reinforcements flipping piling in right now, and the next time second patrol murder comes back this way, it should now be up to strength of about 450 piracy suppression. And piracy right now, the problem we've got is 382. Up here it's only 200 actually, so a small force up there can sort that out. Though, to be honest, the base protection is already pretty high there. Just, slight upgrade to Hirma should sort that out. And now, there we flipping go. Piracy is now back to being suppressed. Beautiful. So that fleet just travels backwards and forwards, making sure that piracy is not a problem in either of these two systems. And when the fleet is present, piracy falls very, very quickly indeed. When the fleet leaves again, it starts going up, but it goes up a lot flipping slower. So piracy effects are now down to, nothing at all whatsoever. It's decaying. If the fleet were to stay another month, it will be down to flipping 0. The fleet leaves again, and now it's going up by, per day, like 0.02, 0.03. Flipping spot on. Because, sorry, the other fleet was actually there for a second. The problem is, my pirate suppression fleets have not been quite large enough to actually deal with the piracy, because the piracy has been so flipping extreme. But now, with this fleet in position, look at that. It's just going down so flipping fast. You might actually need reinforcing to do the job properly. I'm not sure. We'll have to see about that. And by the way, is that by any chance? No, that's energy weapon attack speed. Though 6 months away, we will get that next starbase. That's just beautiful. At this point, piracy is rapidly dwindling away to effectively nothing. This fleet will pass through as well. Hang on, how strong is this fleet actually? This fleet's got... this fleet actually only has piracy suppression of 300. It could do with being higher, to be honest. Let's just actually boost that to 45, just to make sure it can do that. Reinforce everything if you be so kind. Spot on. And then, with that done, we should actually have, okay, with the exception of Hema, which does actually need to be properly updated with some actual protection in it. But yeah, that's not doing much at all. At this point, yeah, we're collecting almost everything, with the exception of Eden O'Dear, but that's fine. We're going to give them independence soon. Speak of the devil, there's another star base right flipping there. Spot on. And I'd say, yeah, edict duration. I quite like edicts. Edicts are powerful. Right, Hema. This needs to be upgraded as well. Straight over to you, please. Thank you. And the Zenak continuity is thrilled with our planet being down. Yay, I think. In fact, that planet's actually up to 5 people. Sorry, I didn't realise that was actually down. I missed that. So that is going to be our brand new resort world. Spot on. And I guess there's no real point incentivizing this place to grow, really. Better for my admin cap if it doesn't. So, yeah, let's just make sure people that do move here have jobs. Amenities are not going to be a problem at all. I mean, I guess, yeah, let's make it a little bit larger. Just large enough to have a corporate culture site or whatever. So, but then again, a single building in terms of luxury residences. Well, actually, you know what? If I give you a Paradise Dome, that's enough to support enough people for the next building to exist. So, a couple of Paradise Domes, we could at least have, like, you know, the corporate culture business. Maybe we can produce some consumer goods. Nothing major. It'll be very, very small indeed, but it's nice to have a resort world back in the Empire. By which I mean we haven't actually got rid of the old one yet. But there we go. Piracy has been 100% suppressed in Efrov and is not a problem over here as well. So the Beast is, for once, trading with the rest of the Empire beautifully. Very, very nice indeed. You know, dear, where's the actual problem there? It's, yeah, it's all obviously in Cornish space, obviously. Now, Hema, let's just start off by giving you a couple of hangar bays just to kick things off. Then we'll give you an upgrade. Everything will be lovely. Oh, but we've got good and bad news right here. Zelvan behavior, that is the Xenophiles. They're flipping waking up. The Zelvans are interested in what's going on around them all of a sudden. So yeah, it would appear that a fallen empire has become an awakened ascendancy. The Zelvan arbitrators, as they are apparently now called, not the Zelvan forerunners anymore, they're about to start playing a role in the galaxy. And the problem is, they're totally surrounded. So, if they want to start playing a role in the galaxy, that means potentially having a chat with me, or having a chat with the Farine. And if they're awake, there's a very, very good chance the xenophobes are waking up shortly. Right, we're looking at a war in heaven, and it's the war in heaven I wanted. And by the way, some people were saying in the comments that, yeah, even though the League of Non-Aligned Systems acts just like a federation, it's technically not a federation. And even though empires like Fanatical Purifiers can't join, criminal heritage empires might be able to. So, I might be able to basically get the rest of the galaxy marching to my tune. I'll need to investigate that, ladies and gentlemen. But, giants in the playground indeed. I think we can handle it. Well, we can handle a fallen empire. I can't remember just how strong an awakened ascendancy actually gets once it starts building up. We'll have to keep a very, very close eye on this. Because the Zelvans are... Oh, they've immediately locked me out of their territory. Oh dear. Also, apparently they're allowed to just declare a war of subjugation on us, which seems unfair. And yet, they're going to immediately start demanding everyone else becomes a signatory of theirs. I cannot sign. Because if I sign, my vassals become their vassals. So if they're going to try and insist I do sign, that could be trouble. That could be trouble indeed. Alright! A brand new power has just entered the galactic stage, ladies and gentlemen. I'd say, let's call it a part right there. My fleets are looking very strong indeed, arguably too strong. I may have slightly overbuilt my fleets there. That's fine. We've got a new starbase coming in. We should be able to add, you know, a little bit on to my fleet capacity right there. And, of course, hang on. Yeah, we're only a year out from our Strategic Coordination Center actually reaching its first level. That should be another plus 50. So, actually, we should be just flipping fine right there. And if the Xenophiles do decide they want trouble, I've got the fleets to meet them. Alright, it would be one hell of a war, and I need to consider whether potentially a first strike against them may be a good idea. I'm not sure about that. I kind of like to see a war rage between the Xenophiles and the Xenophobes. Might be fun to keep an eye on if I can just keep myself out of it, and maybe use it as an opportunity to bring some of these bastards into line, because this side of the galaxy is messy. Wouldn't it look nicer if it were painted a lovely red? Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. So, some big changes coming in the galaxy next time, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nerd, and this has been Stellaris MegaCorp. Thank you very much, and goodbye. This is the face of death, okay? This is what my sudden death looks like. Do not engage before we arrive. Do not engage. What are you doing? I specifically said don't. Oh, no.
No, John.
Oh, he likes that. The Romans touched me.